Biscuit, come here.
Completely. I'm kind of used to that.
I am not even capable of producing children. I have produced children in the past. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, we know. You got a
strong.
team.
Yes, like a whole packful of them.
You got a whole team.
Yeah, they all have strong jaws and good eyesight. And,
yeah, they're tall. They're like a team. They're like a basketball team.
Yeah. And I mean, all better genetically, all better than I could have imagined. Not, nothing like me. With asthma and nearsighted and shit in my pants. All the things I have. Millicent,
Don't speak yet. Once you hit 30, things start. They're not to 30 yet.
No.
Things start going downhill.
Honey, it is not 30. It is not even 40. It's 50.
It's COVID.
It's when
it's COVID.
And 50 and COVID, which coincided with for me. But it really did, like, it took me down a few notches. And right after I got COVID, I saw a picture or a video of me yesterday at the summit in January.
Uh-huh.
Why did you even let me go in front of the camera? I was so fat. And I'm still fat. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not like I'm, Adonis here. But I'm, I guess 20 pounds lighter than I was. But holy cow, I was a big one. I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah.
You're being sweet. I mean, Amy Knight and Craig Purser and Pete Marino, like everybody, all the big dogs in the industry were like, you got to do something about Harry's weight. Right? Yeah. I mean, a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk real time. Let's talk real.
I'm like, I feel like this is a trap. I don't really want to fall in the trap. And to be fair,
no, it's not a trap.
It's not like I'm a skinny queen. I mean, I have self-confidence because I've been, fat shamed forever. So it's not like I'm this like skinny thing. But I mean, I don't know. During COVID, we all lost hair and turned gray and got fat or got skinny, and it's something happened to every single one of us. So
why did I get fat? Like everybody else got skinny and when they got COVID. Somehow I just like.
I mean, I get that. I feel the same way. I could use to lose 25 pounds, but what you gonna do?
No, I don't think so. No. Well, oh my God, what was that?
All right, that's my text thing. My computer. So.
Oh my God.
Sorry, don't even ask me how to turn it off right now. So don't even try to get me to do that.
It's fine. Just tell those people, quit texting.
Well,
who are these people?
It's actually Hunter that just texted me today. She turned 40. So for anyone for the one person listening, Hunter is one of my very best friends, and she turned 40 today. So she just actually sent me a picture and said, "This is 40," with all of her pillows and with her water jug.
I like that. That's I love Sarah. Hot Sarah.
She looks great.
She's the best.
She's the best. That is why I am dressed like this. Normally when I'm on a podcast, I look homeless and hungover, but I'm dressed because her family and I are surprising her with cake and things.
Oh, that's cool.
I know.
I mean, it looks like 5 families of parrots had an orgy and came together, and either an orgy or just started fighting each other on your shirt.
This is a dress.
Oh, wow.
But thank you. I'm gonna take the.
I love that dress.
I'm gonna take the parrot orgy as a compliment. The too tight, because it's too tight, because of COVID, whatever. Not getting rid of it.
I wouldn't worry about it, honestly, Millicent. I think, honestly, I think you will still get looks. You'll get looks.
I'm going to get all the looks.
You will get all the looks of the of the men and the women, I think.
Well, speaking of all the looks, let's talk about the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's what I brought you here to talk about. So let me set the stage. So Millicent, our own Millicent Ryan, aka, I'm gonna get my mic really close to say it because it sounds really cool. Chanel Gulf Coast.
Oh
Chanel Gulf Coast. Chanel Gulf Coast. I'll cut it to get the best one. And your cousin and is, you know, a famous well, I would say thoroughbred racing trainer. His name's Todd Pletcher. And his aunt, I mean, not his aunt, his mother lives in San Antonio, where we live, you and I.
Yes.
And, pretty famous. He's won the Derby a couple of times. He's won many races. And I would say he's the number 2 trainer in America.
You would say that, but let's not forget what happened at the Derby this year.
I'm saying Bob Baffert is the number 1 trainer in America. And what Millicent? So what happened at this year's Derby that makes Bob? What did he dose these horses? What's happening?
Yes, the horse that won had antibiotics in its system, and you cannot have antibiotics in your thoroughbred system for 14 days prior to race day. And so right now he is banned. He is banned from Churchill Downs. He's banned from all the tracks right now. And
now, let me make clear, your cousin's not banned. This is Bob Baffert, his arch nemesis.
His arch nemesis.
With the blue, he has the blue, tinted glasses. He does. I think everybody
knows. I think everybody knows who Bob Baffert is when you say the name.
Right.
So yeah,
he's out there.
There were a lot of rioters and picketers wanting to take Baffert's Hall of Fame status away. I thought that was very interesting to see that in real time. When
all he did was give his horses antibiotics. No, it wasn't even it's just a little pick me up. Who doesn't want to pick me up? I mean, all he's doing is giving his horses what we all want.
Just because the purse is millions of dollars, so it's no big deal. But anyway, this is not about Bob. So my aunt, who is my best friend.
Let me just preface this by saying that she's 85 years old, but still kind of smoking hot. Gotta say, she still holds it together.
She'll be 84 next week, and she was by far the best looking person there. And I'm not saying that because she's Todd's mom. Yeah. She just looked amazing. She always looks amazing. I don't have to elaborate on that. The airports were interesting, getting an 83-year-old through airports.
Yeah. So tell us about that. And during kind of the Delta variant coming up. So, it's how was your experience at the airports?
So there's no amount of cash in the world that can get somebody through an airport faster than a wheelchair or a golf cart, right? So I prepared and got all this cash because I'm okay, I'm just gonna pay off everybody that works at these airports to get us from A to B to C. That is not how it panned out. Our leg there was San Antonio, Charlotte, Albany, and she started drinking red wine at 9 a.m. on the first leg.
Somehow that does not surprise me about Aunt Jerry. I mean, she loves her red wine more than anybody I've ever seen. And you know what? God bless her. She drinks it with ice in it. You know what?
Every time.
Fuck the haters.
I mean,
I shouldn't say fuck. Screw the haters is what I meant to say. Unabashedly ask for ice and then ask for an extra ice on the side of
Yes.
her wine with
She
the
wants the
ice. Yeah.
ice and the wine, and then an extra cup of ice on the side of the ice down wine. And it's got
Right.
to be Merlot. And if they're out of Merlot, she'll do Cab, but it needs to be a Merlot at 9
And
a.m.
just
on a Wednesday. So
yeah.
the first flight was fine, even though she started drinking, because I was like, okay, she'll pace herself. But
no, wait a minute. Let's this is podcast, so this is long form. We can take our time.
Okay.
Hold up there, Philly. Since we're horse themed today, but let me just say that you were probably also consuming alcohol at this point. So don't just like throw Aunt Jerry under the bus and say, oh, she was drinking red wine at 9 a.m. Oh, you wouldn't believe it, asking for ice. What did you ask for to have to drink?
I did not start when she started, but when I did start, I had vodka and soda. Because if I started with red wine at 9 a.m., by 1 p.m., I would be like, I wouldn't even know my name.
Of course. Even though you do have a hollow leg, and I've seen you drink all day, you can hold your own. But my question is very specific, and it seems like you're avoiding it. She started drinking wine at 9 a.m. When did you order your first drink? 9:15?
11.
Okay. Are you telling the truth?
Yes, because we boarded at like 10:55.
Well, okay. Oh.
So
you ordered yours on the plane.
Yeah, well, which, that's a whole, you could have a podcast all day long on how dumb these rules are, that if you sit in first class, you can have booze and food served to you. But if you're one seat behind this tiny little curtain that's going to do nothing, you can't have booze, you can't have food. It's that flying during COVID is like, that's a podcast in itself.
So are you here to tell me that money is involved and not just complete consumer safety? I'm shocked. I am completely shocked that money buys you immunity from COVID somehow, just by being in first class. Or going to a party at Martha's Vineyard at Obama's house, or what that buys you somehow immunity.
Yeah,
I wish Biscuit could get me immunity. Biscuit's immune. Well, I'm not even sure dogs are immune, but I've had my shot. So Biscuit, don't worry, you are good to go. And anyway, so go on. I'm sorry.
So the first San Antonio to Charlotte was fine, and then that's where things got a little hairy. They forgot to call for wheelchair assistance. And you know how Charlotte is. Like, if you're going, we went from a big, whatever the big plane is, 747 or whatever, to the little small one, because Charlotte to Albany is just a short flight, right? So that's clear across the airport. Like, it's not, you're not 2 gates down.
Well, Charlotte, the problem with the Charlotte airport is it doesn't have a train or a tram or a bus or anything. You have to walk. And it's not a huge airport, but it's big enough that if you do have to walk, it's a long walk. And those they have rocking chairs to make it, doesn't it make it, it's supposed to make it like all Southern and whatever.
High heels, of course, because I always do. I was in high heels. I had 2 carry-ons. She had 2 carry-ons. I had to push her in a wheelchair from gate D to gate A, no elevator, no anything. I was absolutely sopping wet by the time we board. And of course, like, we're late. Thank God it was delayed because somebody flushed, I don't know, a child down the toilet or something. The toilet was broken. So they have all the doors open to the aircraft, and it's no AC for like 45 minutes. So I was already soaking wet. It's like 4:00 at this point. And then I just crawl in the bottle. Then I'm like, I'm wet. I'm in a bad mood. I'm hungry. My legs are burning from this like trek of pushing a wheelchaired woman. Like I was done. I was done. I was done. So I definitely crawled into the vodka and there was no crawling out for the rest of the evening.
Okay. So you're on the plane, you're with Aunt Jerry. And one of the things that you told me, Aunt Jerry, God bless her. I love Aunt Jerry, by the way. And my mother, everybody here loves Aunt Jerry. But, when she wakes up in the morning, she starts talking, whether anybody's there or not.
Yes.
Right.
Regardless
I
if
believe.
someone is there.
Right. I mean, because I've been with her when she's just talking. And I don't only think she's talking to me, she's just talking. And, I think it's kind of directed to me because I'm there. I'm the only person in the room. But since it comes out of her mouth, but you gotta wait for it. You gotta get those gems. So did she talk on the plane? Because that's what I'm curious about.
Which that part was the part I'm nervous about because when I fly, my ears are so bad that I can't hear you without a mask on, but with a mask, I'm just like, what? Like I can't. And that was the only time in the trip was the 4 flights that she did not speak. I would ask her something and then she would shush me off to drink her wine and read the book that I gave her. So,
yeah.
So that, and
we wonder what book was she reading?
I gave her, I already read it. I read it when I had COVID. Green Lights, Matthew McConaughey.
Oh yeah. I haven't read it. I have it here, like right in front of me.
Very good book. Well, we're from the same town. So that's the only reason I wanted to read it.
Uvalde?
Uh-huh. My mom graduated with his brother, Rooster.
Listen, listeners, in case you're not aware, this is a South Texas girl from Uvalde. Grew up in Beeville, Texas. It's a really different kind of culture person. If you're not from Texas, you may not, even if you're from Texas, if you're not from Central or South Texas, like if you're from Dallas or Houston, you wouldn't know.
You won't get it.
Separate. You won't get it.
No.
Exactly. The separate culture that is Uvalde, Beeville, Corpus, down, to the ocean. You get a little bit south of San Antonio and to these little towns, and then all the way to Corpus to the ocean is this special land where they grow people that are special. And Millicent and I have
like Todd Fletcher and Matthew McConaughey.
Yes. And Millicent, I mean, I love that area. I don't know what you have in your water, probably lead and asbestos and all the shit that's horrible, but you do make unique people down there. And I've never met him. I don't think I've ever met a person I dislike from Uvalde or Corpus. Well, Barry Andrews is from Corpus. One of the largest Molson Coors distributors in the country is from Corpus Christi. Did you know that?
I know that now. I mean, South Texas people were just raised different. It's just a different kind of.
I don't know that you're raised different. I think it's in the water. Honestly, I've done a lot of study on this.
We're rednecks.
You're rednecks. I understand that, but there's rednecks everywhere, Millicent. There's rednecks in Appalachia. There's rednecks in New York State. I mean, there's rednecks everywhere. No. Y'all have. There's something in the water. I'm convinced. Russo is with me on this. My friend David Russo, his wife is from Beeville, the same town that Millicent's from. He said this before I even met you. Like he said, Beeville people are different, and he thinks it's the water. And there is like oil, and you could light your water on fire probably down there. There's so much oil in it.
I mean, you should probably brush your teeth with bottled water. Like it was that type of water growing up. Like it was.
Well, and the thing is, y'all don't even drink water down there. You drink Big Red and Dr. Pepper, and and Sonic slushies.
And sweet tea. Yeah.
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 All
So
right. So back. All right. We're back in the airplane. Aunt Jerry
she's
is
reading that book.
finally reading the book of Matthew
She
McConaughey.
finally
Did she
got,
even know who Matthew McConaughey is?
yes. Yes.
She does. So she's like,
Oh yeah.
all right, all right, all right. She knows what. She
Yes.
knows he's been in movies. All right, all right.
Yeah. She knows his mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He is, but she knows, of course.
Well,
She
I
knows
mean,
his mom.
she knows his mom, and like just like I know his mom. I mean,
All
like,
right.
yeah, like
No, no. Okay, my bad. All right. So what happens then? So you all get off the plane.
yeah, and then Albany to Saratoga is like about 30 minutes. And so my cousin Todd's wife Tracy picked us up and took us back to their home in Saratoga, which
How is
Saratoga
Aunt Jerry? Yeah, tell us about Saratoga. I've never been.
Saratoga was well, and now I know why I've never been. I'm not a billionaire. There's that. There's number one. Everyone there, the people I thought I was going to meet, at the Hall of Fame and stuff, were not the people I met. I met people that were in a different category. I thought I was going to meet a bunch of like celebrities from movies and stuff. And no, it was like owners of like TV networks and National Football League teams and people.
Yeah, they're there for the horse racing.
Well, exactly. But
horse
that's all
racing.
they all have second or third homes there. That's what I'm getting at. So they all go there from May to September, and that's it. I mean, just like Todd. Todd doesn't live there. He's only there, a few months a year.
During the racing season. When I was kind of growing up, you had to be a millionaire to be a thoroughbred racer, be in that game. Now you kind of have to be almost a billionaire, or at least a 500 millionaire.
Yeah,
I mean, that's an expensive hobby.
That's basically around like what his clients are, and we're like, I think the wealthiest guy I met was worth like 10 billion. And of course, the only reason I know this is because Aunt Jerry's like barking in my ear. Do you know who that is? And I'm like, I don't have a clue who any of these people are. And she's like, he owns this team and he owns this and he owns this. And I'm like, but I do have to say this, which I'm sure some of it had to do with the fact that I was in the Pletcher box and the Pletcher, like all the Pletcher things. But I did not meet one person that was not the nicest, most down to earth person. So it's either because of who I was there with, or those people are actually just really, really, really nice.
Yeah. Let me just say, even if I were poor and I met you, I'd probably be pretty nice. Do you hear what I'm saying?
I do. I do.
Well,
the women, I've dealt with a lot of really rude women in my life. And not one single woman was rude to me there. Like not one. Like, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm like just around women that are finally secure. I don't know, but not one single person was rude to me. Like the wives, the husbands, the kids, and it's a really small town. So like everybody knows everybody. I think the population's like 40 or 50,000. So of course, to me, it was weird to see because Todd is just Todd. And everywhere we went, it was, can I have an autograph? Can we have a picture? Like, it was so odd to me because I'm just like, what? Like, I don't know. He's just Todd. Like, it was a whole new world. What I saw at this event, it was just like super rich people who were super nice, dressed very well. And none were
it sounds like a horrible experience.
It was it's obviously the trip of a lifetime because you can't get inducted to the Hall of Fame. And mind you, with horse racing, you have to at least be training for 25 years before you're even considered. So he's worked a really long time to get where he is. And it was a very big honor. And the ceremony was great. Some other trainers got inducted. And in like every speech, they talked about how like they wish they never had to go up against Todd. Like every single one of them was like, yeah, the owner of this horse that I ran, I was sure happy to hear that Todd scratched this horse so I didn't have to go up against him. And but I mean, it was all fun and jokes. Like it wasn't out of malice. I mean, maybe behind the scenes, but it was great.
Trust me. Those guys are competitive as fuck. And that, yeah. You see me on stage. Oh, Benj, you're the best rider in the world. Yeah, we all friendly on stage. Behind the scenes, we're all clawing each other's backs.
Well, I think like my favorite quote was this trainer. His wife was drop dead beautiful. I mean, the most gorgeous woman, because when he was thanking her, she was sitting across the row from me. And I was like, and he goes, yes, I know. I traded up. And Aunt Jerry turns around and she goes, you know all about that.
Did she say that because she thinks that you've traded up?
Oh, I guess that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's like telling this story. They have a son, and he's telling the story about how he's won all these awards in Canada. And that same award is equivalent to the one that Todd has won the most out of every trainer. It's called the Eclipse in the US. And so he's talking about this award, and his son goes, so Dad, like, how long are y'all going to be in Canada to get your award? And he's like, and mind you, this is my 7th time to win this. And my son said, how long are you going to be in Canada? And he said, oh, we'll just be there 2 days or so. And he goes, son, are you not like proud that I won this again? And his son turned to him and said, the only reason you're winning it again is because Todd doesn't train in Canada. And he was like, I have never felt more low as a father in my life. But of course, everybody in the crowd laughed. But that was like my favorite story out of all the tons of stories I heard. But it just goes to show that, hard work really pays off. I mean, it's incredible to see his success and how well he's done. And
well, I mean, he's won more than one Kentucky, one of his horses rather has won more than one Kentucky Derby, right?
Yeah, he's won. So they do it like as in totals, and he's at 5,100 wins in his career, and that pairs up. Most people are in like the 4,000 range, or he's never gotten the Triple Crown. Like he has not. I mean, that's a hard one to get.
It is hard. And
it's hard to get,
especially when you don't dope your horses.
Yeah.
JK, for all the lawyers listening.
I know.
Making a joke.
Yeah. Like no comment. But no, he has not. I'm sure that when you're a trainer, your goals are to win the Eclipse Award, which he's won, to win the Derby, which he's won, to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, I'm sure I'm just saying this.
Yeah. He's got everything except the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're hoping for. I remember when he won the Derby, we had just started dating. I was in
you got the flu.
Well, maybe I'm thinking of a different. I remember being in Fort Collins, Colorado, for like
that was the Preakness.
That was a Preakness. Okay, yeah. So if I were in Fort Collins, I'd probably be visiting New Belgium. You
were there for that and to bring Hunt home. That's why you were there. That was in 2016. Oh. And he won. Okay. He won the Derby in 2017.
Right. He won the Preakness.
Yeah. Well, his like total. I mean, he's won the Belmont, the Preakness, all those like numerous times. I mean, it's all listed. It's too much to keep up with, honestly, how many he's won. But
let's keep it clear that his horses have won.
Yes.
Because I don't see him out there running on the mud. No, it's his horses that are the true heroes, right, Biscuit? Let's have one for let's drop one for the animals. Whoop whoop, Biscuit.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm glad that he won this when he won this or got inducted or whatever, because, you know, I think the laws are going to continue to come down very, very hard with animal cruelty. And because I mean, now you can't race in Cali, and, you know, because all these groups are up in arms. So I do not foresee horse racing like this being something of the future, which I don't think, I don't think there's, I don't really know what the future holds, period, with all these variants and everything happening. But for this in his career, I'm glad at least he got to live to see this, and it didn't all get canceled, you know.
It's, you know, he and I are actually the same age, like 50. I'm 52. I think he's 52. He's 54. Like I feel kind of the same way. Like I'm glad that I got my best years done when there was still a 3-tier system in this country. Well, you know, when Pepsi and Coke entered it from the producer side, but when Pepsi has entered the 3-tier system in the middle tier, we're in for big changes. And it might be, you know, I'm glad I'm kind of on the way out, because I don't even know how to navigate these waters. Actually, what the sad thing is I think I'm the only one that knows how to navigate the waters. And I feel like I thought about this today. I've got to like bring Justin, Jordan and Jen and Sarah. I got to bring them to San Antonio and have a weekend where I really explain a lot of the back end shit that I'm not sure they know. And as far as like how distribution works with bottlers and chains and beer distributors and suppliers and
there's laws, a lot there.
There is a lot there. And I feel like I'm holding this knowledge in my brain, and I need to, I feel like they do. Listen, they know a lot more than I think they do. I just feel like I need to have a training session, if you will.
Well, to be fair, I've been around you for almost 6 years, and I learned something new almost, if it's not daily, at least weekly. I'm like, wait, what is that? And I'm like, I've been hearing this for years, and there's so much to know. There's just like never ending.
Well, it's the alcohol, even, you know, beverage business is complicated, but the alcohol business is way more complicated. And that's why Pepsi is, you know what, Pepsi is, it's not Pepsi. It's somebody at Pepsi who's cut a deal with Dave Berwick, and they're doing this deal. And Pepsi is learning about how to sell into off-premise accounts, specifically using Boston beer as their teacher. And once they learn it, they don't need Boston beer anymore or the distributors. They just will do it themselves.
There was a lot to unpack yesterday with that issue. I mean, I know you saw the emails, but even just responses on Twitter and Instagram, like people yesterday was a crazy day. One of the crazier days for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was a good day.
You know, it was a very good day, but I mean, we published numerous times, lots of questions, lots of stuff going on. Like yesterday was one of those big breaking news days.
Yes. I love those days, man. I love those days. I'm so excited. And I love that I can just tell everybody to go take a hike, because I have a breaking news story. And what do I always say? Stick to the contingencies of the service. Harry, can you go to the lake?
Yes, you do say that one.
Can you go to the lake tomorrow, Harry? Well, I can, but it's subject to the contingencies of the service.
If there's breaking news, I'm not going.
If there's breaking news, I'm out. Always, 100% of the time. Because I'm the only one in this company. Well, first of all, I own the company, so that makes me highly motivated to make it work. Second of all, I don't have little kids or a wife, or I don't have a family to worry about at 8 p.m. when everybody's dinner and sitting down and all that, all that domestic shit. I don't worry about that. I can work till 2 a.m. I can sleep till noon. I can do whatever I want. as you know.
I know you had kids when you were like 15.
Exactly.
You got it out of the
Exactly.
way when you were a child.
Exactly. And they, I got to tell you, Millicent, they kept me back. Like I would have grown this company a lot faster if it hadn't these fucking kids. I love them. That's the reality.
Yeah, I'm like,
You know,
I don't
if
think
you
that's
want, if you
rude.
want a
It's that.
family, yeah, yeah. I mean, do you think Elon Musk or Bezos? You think these guys came home at 5 o'clock and took care of their families every night? No,
Do you think I didn't
I
have a
did.
nanny till I was like, I don't even know how old? My
Yeah,
parents never like, I mean, they worked all the time.
right.
I
I
would
mean,
see them on
it's
Sundays. That was it. Like,
and listen to, I mean, listen to me complaining as a man, who kind of, especially back in the 90s, got a, you get kind of as a man, you get a, what am I trying to say? You get a pass because you're a man. Like, I'm the father, I'm the husband. Of course, if I
I'm the
get to work late,
beneficiary.
everybody takes a back seat when you're the man in the family, right?
I mean, it's
And
still like that in some instances today. I mean, not
oh, I'm
not so
sure.
much, but I mean, back then it was. I remember being like looked down upon because my mom worked so much. Like all the kids around me, their moms stayed at home, and it was like, your mom has a
Right.
job, and I'm like, yeah, like it was looked down upon as me growing up. It really was because she was
Well,
never at PTA and she was never at all that bullshit because she was, saving lives. But I mean, like
Melissa's
it was,
mom is a doctor, by the way, a general practitioner. And
yeah.
in case you didn't know, we have to tell some of our
I forget
listeners.
who's listening, who's not. No, but I mean, it really was in the 90s when I was growing. I was born in 87. So in the 90s growing up, every girl in my class, their mother did not work or their mother was like a teacher or like a sub. So they had like the hours of like school hours. My mom didn't get home till 9, 10, whatever. I was already asleep. And then she'd be gone the next morning, you know,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, it was looked down upon. It was like, oh, your mom's not coming.
Well, listen, I mean, I grew up with a single mom back in the 80s, and that was looked down upon. Like it was, oh my gosh, you don't have a husband, and I don't have a father living at home. Like I
I
felt
mean,
that.
me right now, I feel like I still get that in such a woke culture.
Really?
At Ellis,
No, that's so sad that
my
you
daughter
still.
goes
I
to
mean,
private school for those listening that don't know, and I am very looked down upon when I go to meet the teacher and all that when I'm by myself. There, it's always a mother and a father, and I'm always, oh, did your husband not make it? Did your and I'm like, it's 2021. Like, where's all this woke? Like yeah. To me, like
the work, yeah. Well, it stops at the door.
yeah, I'm like woke until you're not. Like whatever. I
Right.
don't
Well,
even.
yeah, it's like woke until you have a life that you have to have
Yeah,
responsibilities and pay
yeah. Until
bills
you
and
have a
like
kid and
it's,
a career, and yeah,
yeah,
then
it's
yeah,
easy to be woke when you're
yeah,
yeah, no, nothing.
yeah.
But
You'll be woke when your husband cheats on you and leaves you, and then you're gonna be at that. Leave me alone too, sis. Like
listen,
okay,
I actually consider myself woke for an older white man.
for an old codger like yourself.
Yeah, I'm pretty woke. I mean, I'm going to Mexico. Did I tell you that?
No,
Oh, I'll tell you later.
for
I'm
work.
going with kind of. It's I'm sponsoring some veterans. Well, really through JT, and we're going to go to Mexico, and we're going to go through some treatment for PTSD, substance abuse. So, I
Things
mean,
that matter for our veterans that come back and want to kill themselves.
right,
Yeah, things that matter.
right,
Yeah,
to prevent suicide. I mean, it really is
yeah.
kind of that
I
way, and
mean, yeah.
and right, and I am not a veteran, so let me just make that very clear. The only reason that I'm even involved is that I'm helping to fund it, and it's
Well, I think that's,
not that much.
you always have terrible ideas and grand gestures of doing things. And I think this is probably the best thing I've ever heard you say you're going to participate.
I am so surprised to hear you say that because I was afraid to tell you, and I told you on the pod for on purpose so that you since we're recording that you have to be nice. I was afraid to tell you this because I'm going with them. And when I say treatment, it's I
wasn't like, that's top of the line right there, bud.
No. It's definitely experimental.
What city in Mexico?
I'm not allowed to tell anything really about it. And I'm going with 4 or 5 other vets.
Town, or is it like deep in the heart?
No, it's deep.
Okay, so it's not like you're not going to like Matamoras or Progreso or
no, it's a flight. Let me put it that way. It's a flight.
I think
for
that's
fuck's sake, Millicent. Do you think I'm that? I would not. A border town. Listen, you would be the belle of the ball.
I would be
the belle of the ball.
God, I love me some Michael Scott. Well, I hate to cut you off, but my computer is on 4% and my charger is all the way in the other room and I'm not going to get it.
Wait. We haven't even we haven't even cracked the surface about Aunt Jerry the rest of the weekend.
Well, what are you talking about? Because my computer is about to die. I don't know what you want me to say. Do you remember earlier when I said, I'm probably going to need a new laptop soon? Mine's on its last leg. This computer was at 100% 2 hours ago. So that's where this situation is.
All right. It was good. It was good talking to you. You know, I love you. Je t'aime, je t'adore. Que voulez-vous de plus? Encore. Je t'aime. C'est avant. Tu l'avais avec un soir, ce soir. All the French things.
All the Moulin Rouge.
All of it. And maybe we'll have another catch up to get the second second
part of the trip.
Right. We didn't even get you off the plane in Albany. We barely got you off the plane in Albany and we stopped the story with other bullshit. So we'll have to have a follow-up, if you will.
We will.
All right. Well, listen, have a good evening if I don't see you.
Well,
and
we'll do.
Hey, Millicent, thank you for drinking beer.